How's it going, guys? I'm Jamie the Comet with another exclusive interview. We all know how difficult it is to make games just in general and some of these developers have all the money, all the resources, and especially EA, they shut out their crap every year. But there are some people that just need more attention because they actually deserve it. They put more heart, more soul into it. And so we like to give our love to the indie developers. And I have here another indie developer for Ataxia, the upcoming video game that, believe it or not, I'm actually voicing in. I'm so excited. So joining me today is Devon. How are you doing, Devon?
I'm doing great, Jamie. Doing great.
Doing great. Awesome. Well, let's begin. What is Ataxia?
Well, Ataxia, as you may know, is a action RPG centered around a co-op aspect. Now, this co-op aspect brings you and your friends into a world of the Celeste, where there's the goddess Aurora, creator of all things, creator of man, and how she is now looking to reconnect with her children. Because as of now, her children have stepped away. They've seen no need for her, they've seen no need for her gifts, and are slowly diving off into their own realm, and she is not happy about that. She's actually so upset that she plans to destroy all of man and pretty much reset and clean the slate clean. But what she doesn't know is that you and your friends are going to be the four heroes who may just be the salvation to mankind.
So what influences did you go through while you were creating this game? Was it inspired by religion aspects? Was it inspired by mythology?
There's actually a very strong religious connection to it. I've always been very interested in the creation story, and a lot of people already are familiar with the presence of a god. Some may subscribe to them as a masculine or male-oriented, figurehead, but I wanted to scale that back. I wanted to make God more of a female gender, to kind of create more of a motherly connection to all of life itself. I also wanted to kind of go back to this need to connect with something outside of your everyday existence. Man has always looked up for something bigger than them, and I wanted to make that connection very apparent. This goddess is always communicating with man, is very connected, is very direct, and it will be very interesting to see what happens when we break that connection, not from a more of an evolutionary sense, like with religion in itself, as we split between, agnosticism and Christianity, but more of a personal thing with a child being man growing up and no longer needing their parent, the goddess Aurora.
That's very interesting. How did you start off with this project? What went through your mind when you were developing it? And what did you do when you came up with the idea?
It's actually had a lot of evolutions. When we started out, this project was for a competition called the Microsoft Imagine Cup, which is essentially a bunch of schools coming together to create a game that's focused towards, world goals. Some of them are like curing world hunger, creating more global awareness, that sort of thing. And we had a game that focused on all of those elements and then tasked the player with finding solutions to each. But, post-competition, we didn't place too well. I mean, Microsoft came to the school and talked to us. But after they spoke to us, they saw a bigger potential for something with our game that was bigger than the Imagine Cup. And that's when I started getting my mind rolling and thinking, okay, what exactly can I do to make that bigger? How can I expand the objectives? How can I expand the world? And my art director, Alexia, said, I have an idea for one character in this particular situation. And I took it and I blew it up in one night. And it was like, I love this. I now need to flesh it out. And that's really where it came from. It was more of a tasking from something else totally different.
So what difficulties as an indie developer do you go through, and how does it compare to main studios?
Well, this is interesting because with an indie development team versus a major studio, one of the underlining things is always money. With the development studio, they may not have to ask too much of how do we get the money and where do we get the money, but these are questions that we as indies are always asking. We have to look at a bunch of different platforms. Do we want to kickstart? Do we want to greenlight? Do we want to go to the bank? Do we want to take out a loan? Do we want to shell it out from pocket? And it's those questions that really hang us up a lot, because we'll always have a really good idea. We'll have a lot of, plans for how we want to approach that idea. but then we always hit that break point at money. On top of that is assigning the team and understanding the strengths. A lot of indies are remote, so you may have someone here in Florida who finds an art person in Germany who has a programmer in Australia, and it's just trying to keep everybody communicated. Other times it's a bunch of friends who in the start may have the same idea, but then as things start to progress, opinions start to change and there's differences in between. Then you have to worry about organization. It's a huge pooling that I feel is almost very necessary for us to understand the project. And it's a big thing for indies because that's really what will make or break us. Did we do those things right? Did we think about how much money we wanted? Did we agree on the idea and are we committed to it? Are we consistent?
Just expanding on that, every year we get our EA Sports, our Call of Duties, our Assassin's Creed, but like you said, they have the luxury of investors. The money is constantly flowing. Working as an indie developer, you don't have that luxury or a constant influx of money. So how important is crowdfunding to a game and your staff?
Well, crowdfunding is very important because the community is what makes or breaks the game. We can always put all kinds of money into something and we can shelve it out, we can put it out ourselves. But if it doesn't sell well, then we pretty much put money for nothing. The thing that's very exciting to me about crowdfunding is that you are getting a direct communication with you and those who are funding you. Everyone who talks about it, everyone who sends you feedback or comments, you're creating a relationship with your consumers and you'll learn what they like and what they don't like. And I feel like that's what happens less in the bigger developing sides. I mean, look, you've seen it. The same game released 8 times. The same DLC pack, overpriced. Half a game comes out because their market analysis is so wide. They don't spend enough time understanding the intricate parts of what the community wants. Oh, everyone likes guns. Let's throw as many guns as there's possible. People don't want a story. They want immediate action. How much multiplayer can we put in? How much add-on content can we do? And this is the shareholders talking now. This is not the devs. That's the thing with indie. We don't have that. I mean, we would like it for the money's sake, but we don't have a bunch of outside ideas manipulating and changing the kind of thing we want to produce.
So how do you think your game in particular compares to AAA games out there?
The only thing that makes us different from AAA is, I would say, polish, because money does that. You know, the better we look, the closer to AAA we can be. I mean, content-wise, gameplay-wise, these are all the kind of things that we want to make sure we fine-tune and connect with the audience. But to really say AAA, it's that look at the end of the day. It's that this is that end result that I feel confident about and I feel confident telling other people about. It's that hype that is generated from just seeing it, and it's the anticipation to playing it. Because I've seen a lot of AAA indie games. I feel like the title is kind of weird because AAA seems to be so reserved to companies that have already been well known. But I mean, when you look at some of the very starting indie titles, I mean, you're thinking, wow, there's a lot of finite, clean, crisp end product right here. So I think that's all we really want to look for. That's what really will make us a AAA.
Right, so before we close out, Devon, do you have anything you would like to say to our viewers?
I thank you for taking the time to speak with me and Jamie and listen to a little bit about this indie process. I hope that for those of you who are also looking to break into the indie realm can take what I said and kind of think about how you want to adjust it for yourselves. And of course, to re-examine the way you look at indie projects. I mean, I know they can be a little intimidating and a lot of times they can look a little low par, but you have to understand that these people are truly working to give you something that is an expression of themselves, as well as something you will enjoy. And sometimes a second look is all they need.
So I've been Jamie the Comic of KaiMinds.com.
And I've been Devon from Undia LLC.
And remember guys to like, comment, favorite and subscribe if you want to see more videos similar to this one. But remember guys to keep on being awesome. See you later guys.